Talmud tells us, as a matter of fact, that the Avos, our forefathers, kept the entire Torah and all its mitzvahs. They even fulfilled the rabbinic enactments that would be made in the future. But in this week's Parsha, Yaakov seems to transgress a clear biblical violation. He marries two sisters, Leah and Rachel. How was he able to do this? The Rebbe offers a fascinating answer, which also leaves us with a powerful and meaningful life lesson. Since the Torah had not yet been given, Yaakov's acceptance of the mitzvahs was not obligatory. It was only a hiddur, a personal stringency. But during that time in history that we are now talking about, keeping one's word in the sense of not letting someone down or embarrassing them, that was an accepted and established norm. That was obligatory. By the way, we see this clearly in our Parsha. When Lavan cheated Yaakov and switched Leah for Rachel, Yaakov demanded, Lama rimisani, why did you cheat me? It was an obvious error. From this perspective, we can appreciate Yaakov's action. Yaakov gave his solemn word to Rachel that he will marry her. He worked 7 years for her, and she knew that, to the point that they had a whole plan with the simanim, the signs. She was counting on it. When he ended up with Leah, he was faced with a moral dilemma. On the one hand, my personal stringency of following the future Torah law dictates that I should let Rachel go and move on. On the other hand, that would be a violation of my word and would cause Rachel immense devastation. To Yaakov, there was no hesitation. He married Rachel. They tell a story of a great tzaddik in the early 19th century. Some say it was Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, who was extremely careful with the halacha of washing his hands before eating bread. He always made a point of using an enormous amount of water to wash each hand 3 times. Once he was a guest at a wealthy man's home. As they went to wash for bread, the host noticed that the tzaddik washed with just the bare minimum amount of water. He said, Rebbe, why are you so sparing with my water? I know and heard that you like using a lot of water. We have a whole barrel here. Wash to your heart's content. The tzaddik answered, true, but later on, who will have to go down to the well and fill it back up? Nebuch, that elderly maid, who's already overworked and exhausted. She's the one who's going to have to go schlep the water up from the well. I should be frum on her account. No one cared more about keeping Torah and mitzvahs than our patriarch Yaakov. But with his actions, he taught us something important, something critical. You want to live a fulfilled spiritual life? Great. But don't be a tzaddik on someone else's expense, on someone else's back. Remember that another person's heart and feelings comes before your own spiritual perfection. I'd like to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom u'mevarach.